Alright, so we're just gonna let it flow for now. Um, hey, welcome. This is a new project. I'm starting it out. Actually, I've been working on it for a very long time now. I don't even really want to go back and check like I did last time how when I started the first one. It was a couple of years ago at this point. I believe maybe at least 2 years ago. I think I started writing the first one. The concept came about while I was working on my last album. I went back and, at first I was like, what do I really want to work on next? I want to kind of work on like a follow up to the Elementalist already. I was like, nah, let's work on something a bit more serious, a bit more something grounded in, facts and, sorry, I just moved the microphone, reality. And I was thinking, what's more real than like an essay. Like, or what could be more real than an essay? It's very grounded, very not really conceptual as much as like an academic approach to writing. For the last one, it's very like the first album. God bless it, it's done. I'm not touching it ever again. Maybe somebody can convince me to remaster it at some point. I doubt it though. I wouldn't even probably even touch it at this point. I think I'm done with it. I don't really want to touch it anymore. I don't really want to do anything with it right now. I think it's done. When it's done, let's move on to the next thing, right? So at one point, I was just thinking about like essays and what they meant to me as a kid, because they always used to stress me out. You know what I mean? Very structured format, very you know, very much like you gotta do research, and if you step out of bounds on an essay, um, you always kind of got in trouble as a kid. Um, so I haven't written a proper essay either since being in school, But the concept of writing an essay, introduction, you got your paragraphs to support your argument. Oh yeah, you have an argument in there at some point, right? You have an argument that you're trying to support, and you fast and you get your conclusion at the end. That concept is interesting to me as much as as a tool to be seen to be used in different formats and different ideas to express different things. I and at the end of the day, I do like writing essays because you know I just said I didn't, but I do like the idea of writing an essay because everything kind of formatted for you. It's easy. It's easy because you don't have to think about the format. You just go introduction, body, conclusion. Boom, you're done. That's it. You just gotta write the words down the page, which may be hard for some people, but finding words isn't hard for me. So it's like, in terms of that, then I should be a pretty good essay writer, right? But I don't care to write a proper essay. Um, in terms of a bunch of prose on a page. No, I I haven't liked that, and I didn't like it in school. And even the idea of like I said, there's a lot of stress involved. And you're doing it in school, and then you get out of school, and there's no real reason to really need to do that unless you're in an academic setting. So, essays in general just seem to be for academics. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really apply to outside of academia at all. Like nobody's writing an essay, about outside of college, outside of school. And the people who stay in school forever, the academics, the studiers, the researchers, etc., etc. Those people might have to write essays. But even then, if you're doing like a research paper, I feel like it's basically essay format where you start off, you have an introduction where you introduce a topic, you let your argument about a topic, whether let's say you're looking at cells and you're like, okay, this is going to show off how limited my biology knowledge is. But let's say you're working on like sickle cell anemia. I saw that pop up in an article at some point recently. You're gonna say, okay, well, sickle cell anemia is the topic, and then you're gonna be okay, well, what we want to talk about in sickle cell anemia. Well, let's say sickle cell anemia is boosted in certain patients. Here's why. Or this is my argument would be like, okay, well, sickle cell anemia is going to be boosted in certain patients because of blah 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 blah, and then here are my facts to prove my point that sickle cell anemia is boosted in certain patients, and then boom boom boom, conclusion, and then you're done with the paper. So I'm pretty sure it's the same kind of format that they use for research papers, right? So there have been attempts by other authors, and I just looked it up real quick, recently. I googled essay because I was looking at the word how to spell it because it looks so weird to me, Essays. When I typed it out, I was like, that looks kind of weird. So I googled it, and I saw there was a couple of authors, who have done essays in different formats, like calling a poem an essay. This isn't a new concept at all. It's a real concept, I would say, but it's still not a new concept I'm coming up with myself. However, I do like the idea that an essay is basically introduction, body, conclusion. That's how I try to keep the writing of these pieces in general. I try to stay within that kind of format of introduction, body, conclusion. And hopefully you get a sense of that as you go along and listen to these. So I have 2 of them finished right now. I'm going to post today and probably tomorrow at some point. Regardless of when you're listening to this, it would be today and tomorrow I will post the 2 essays. So I'm going to post one the same day as this, and then the second one I have the next day after that. So these are going to be kind of fun. Not fun in the sense of, the topics are not fun at all. There are some fun ones in there, but the first 2, the first one I think is going to be probably just a short one. This one is going to be on Portland. It's about what happened to me in Portland. It's like a story, basically. And then the second one I think is a lot more interesting. That's a lot longer. The second one is going to be on... I can't even remember. Is that okay? Give me 1 second. I've been working on this for like the last couple of days, and I just finished it up too, and I'm healing. On healing, right? On healing. That's a good one. Especially coming back to that with the one on Portland, because Portland is something particularly interesting happened to me when I went to Portland. It was 2022, 2021, 2021, 2022. No, it must have been 2022 because 2020 is when COVID started. At the end of 2020 is when COVID started. 2021 I didn't do anything at all besides stay at home and not die of COVID. And then 2022 is when I started making moves and shit. Yeah, so it's early 2022 that, right? Am I right? I feel like I'm wrong. I think it was 2021 that I went to Portland. 2022 and 2023 I spent in Arkansas. So it must have been 2021 I went to Portland. I think everything's a big blur now. I was in Arkansas for 2 years. And now I'm elsewhere. Not in Arkansas anymore. Now it's 2 moves ago at this point, which is wild to me. I moved twice in 2023. But yeah, I'm out here, and we're talking about Portland. We're talking about other things that happened, and the essays are gonna be kind of about that. The one in Portland, something happened in Portland. It's too bad an essay. I didn't really like talking about it necessarily. So it's also a good way for me to organize my own thoughts, because you can see I'm kind of a rambler, but when I can focus in on a particular thought, it goes pretty well for me. So it's like essays are nice because it gives you a topic and you focus on that topic, you write about it, and then you finish it up, you close it out. Boom. It's like a nice period at the end, boom, you're done. though I hardly use periods when I'm writing, since most of my shit is not in, prose format. It's more like in a poetic format that I write in. So, um, yeah, so it's gonna be a fun project. I'm working on new ones as I go. I'm just gonna post them as I go, not like the album where I kind of want to finish up the whole concept of the album. This is less about concepts and more about individual sections of life and individual stories. So all these are standalone. They don't really flow into the next one. There might be an overall story being told throughout, because it's basically most of them are about, well, the ones that I have right now are about me. So if it's about me, then you may see an overall kind of theme happening throughout all those that are about me. But there are ones about, the next one is kind of about, the next one I kind of really want to work on is on food. Um, but so yeah, we're gonna have on Portland coming out the day of. This one dropped. The next day we're gonna see on healing, and I've started a couple of them. There's the Gigantuan one, which is on depression, which is 6 pages long in Google Docs. Which is what I use to write stuff out. It's 6 pages long, so I don't know how long it's gonna be, like front to back, but it's probably gonna be like a 10-minute track. That one, and it's really intense. And a lot of it is hard to read without crying. So, and even these two, there are places where I kind of have to read to it, as my voice was cracking because I was crying a lot. I was ready to cry. I was on the verge of tears. So, even these two, you wouldn't. I don't think you necessarily get that. You probably get it in certain places, but I heard it and said, what, that's appropriate. Let's leave it in. In these two tracks that are coming out today and tomorrow, whenever it is that today and tomorrow entails in this case. It'll probably be really soon. It might actually be today that I'm recording it, that I go back, edit this up, make it clean, and then put it out there. Or it may be a bit longer than that. I don't know. It might be tomorrow even. Tomorrow being Wednesday. It says Tuesday. So we can figure out when I drop it. If I drop it really soon, it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, depending on when it is that I end up getting around to. And if it's not on a Tuesday and Wednesday, you wouldn't know when I dropped it at all, I guess, at that point, from when I'm recording it, because, it would just be 2 random days in the week where, who knows? Unless it does happen to fall on, like, next Tuesday and next Wednesday, in which case, you'd still be wrong, but at least you have a shot at guessing, I probably just posted in there. Hey, this is not this Tuesday, this Wednesday that I'm recording, even though I am, posted it on these days. Like I said, I'm very good at rambling on different topics, so that's why essay format works. And I do like the idea and I do like the concept of a formal essay in this particular format. It's also like stretching out the academic part of my brain, which my brain goes both ways. It's very artsy and it's very like creative, but also sometimes I'm just a fucking like nerd ass academic, want to be studying about something, want to be reading on stuff, want to be writing research papers. I've never had the urge to actually sit down and do a research paper, do the research on a research paper. But some topics are interesting enough where you're like, you know what, maybe I could become a video essay person, and I probably could, and I would enjoy it up until the point where, it requires a lot of work on topics that I don't like. I could probably write video essays all day on video games, on music, on art in general, on singing, on, food, on wine, on all these different topics, and I have written articles an essay on these topics before. That's how I know. But would it be fun the whole way through? Well, we'll see. All these were really fun to work on so far, so maybe we'll get more of these in the future. I've written a couple already. Like I said, recording is the problem right now. Recording takes a lot of time and energy and effort to kind of sit down and say, well, it's written. That's cool. I know how it sounds to me in my head. Now it's just producing it. These are going to be a lot less musical. I was thinking about adding a musical note, but then I thought about it, and I just felt it wouldn't be appropriate for what I want to do with it. And basically, the whole idea of the essay is that it's an academic piece. It's strewn in academia. This is me being as academic as I think I can be right now, that I've ever wanted to be in my life. I've never felt the urge to be an academic. In fact, if you ask me honestly how I felt about academia, I tell you to be a fucking nerd. Honestly, that's how I feel about it. I don't particularly like the idea of studying all day, unless you're producing stuff, unless you're changing the world in some way. And I know people have to do that. It's just not for me, to be there in the lab all day studying and writing. I'd rather be out in the world changing things. But I respect. Listen. I respect academics. I respect academia. I respect people who put out research that changes the world, and people who are working on stuff that changes the world. But I feel like some people out there just kind of study just to study, just to kind of get smarter, to kind of be that person who's in the limelight for being smart. That's not functioning. That's not functionable to me. It's not serving a function in that case. You're just doing it to, color yourself smart. I feel like those people exist. I'm not saying it's all y'all. I'm not saying that. Please don't take these words out of context into hell. He said all academics are studying just to be smart, just to, put it out there that they are smart. Well, some of y'all definitely are. Don't lie to me about that. I seen y'all. I know y'all. I'm pretty smart. So all my friends are pretty smart, I think. For the most part. For the most part. So and I went to school that people would be studying nonstop. I went to Polytechnic University for a little bit, which, got bought out by NYU while I was there. But it is a studying school. It's a school that, people stay there for years. People travel across the world to study in this school. Can you believe that? Traveling from, India or China to study in a particular school with particular professors who know things. I can imagine that being a thing for other people. It's not for me. Like I said, I never really got too big into the academia part of Google. That being said, this is my acknowledging that it is a worthwhile, after all that shit, it's a worthwhile, pursuit. This is me giving credit where credit is due. I do love studying. I do love learning. I read through. So in terms of studying, I'm a sommelier. I sold wines and earlier, so I don't drink anymore. So I try to hold back on that part. I don't drink. When I say I don't drink anymore, I don't drink anymore compared to what I used to drink. When I was drinking, believe it. So now I might have a beer here and there. Every couple of weeks or so, I might have a beer. I never really said I'm gonna quit drinking. I just said if I drink as much as I do right now, I'm gonna kill myself. And I didn't want to kill myself, so I stopped drinking. So, but I'm a sommelier, so I studied a lot of wine. I studied regions. I studied varietals. I studied, the taste. I studied the mouthfeel. I studied all that stuff for years. I studied, and at the end of the day, I love that because that's something I should pick up at any time. I just pick up a copy of the Wine Bible, brush up real quick, because I read through it a couple of times already at this point. The whole Wine Bible, look it up. Harry McNeil, excellent writer, excellent author, excellent professor. She's like a teacher. You know what I mean? She teaches in that book. And I love that book because it's not dry, as you suspect, like some wine informatives, information packets are very dry. It's a very interesting topic, but it's very easy to write about it in a very academic sounding boring way. But she doesn't write like that. She has pictures and blurbs that make things interesting, and it's a very beautiful book. It's probably one of my favorite books of all time is Karen McNeil's The Wine Bible. Is that me being a nerd? Or what? Right? So when I say I'm an academic, don't laugh at me because I just said, hey, fuck academic, fuck academia. Because at the end of the day, I still feel like I have the academic brain to say, this is something I appreciate. I love words. I love reading. I love studying. But more so, I love the concept of learning. I love teaching. I love talking. I love the setting of, I don't like the setting. Never mind. I don't like the setting of most academia. That's most of my problems. I don't like schools. I don't like being in the classroom. I don't like that part. But the concept of teaching and the concept of academia is not terrible to me at the end of the day. So this is my acknowledging that academia is worthwhile sometimes, and this is me kind of expressing that in the best way I know how, which is writing. So I hope you'll be on this journey with me. It's definitely a journey for sure. I don't know how else to put this. It's definitely going to be a journey, an adventure, into dark places sometimes. Like I said, I got 6 pages on depression. Just straight up depression. I think the runtime for that is probably going to be like 10 minutes. And it's going to be a really intense 10 minutes because the whole thing is just fucking tear-lighting shit that happened to me. It really happened to me like that, huh? Yeah, that's going to be fun to get through. So I'll probably do something fun next. I'm thinking about on food being the next one I kind of want to put together. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to take it. I went through a couple of them, saved the file, put it down, started another one, read through it, saved the file, put it down. And then eventually I'm going to go back to all those and, see, okay, this is how I'm going to say it. This is how I'm going to do it and finish it up. But for now, I don't know where I'm at right now still. So we're still gonna, this is still a work in progress. This is live, very live right now. It's not the album where you're seeing it when it's done. This is going to be a work in progress moving forward. Like I said, I'm posting 2. I think I have 8 or so written out right now that, are done. Maybe 7 written out that are done, that are ready to be recorded. They span, most of them are going to be about things that happen to me. Then there's on wine and on travel, which are more general things. On gambling, which is a fun. I might actually look at on gambling because I did gamble at one point in my life. I don't gamble as much as I used to, for sure. But I never really quit. You know what I mean? It's always something in the back of my head that says, hey, if there were a poker table, I would sit down. I would play some poker right now. If there were a poker table, which is to say, there isn't one near me. I don't think I would know about it, nor should they tell me there's one near me because I will literally go there and take everybody's money if I can. So, but yeah, I never played poker in my life. Actually, what am I talking? Play poker. I never shot pool in my life. I never played poker. I certainly don't play ping pong at all. It's not something I do ever. So those are probably lies. those are probably lies. So I'm just saying. Don't say I didn't warn you. Did you listen to the whole introduction to my essays? Conceptual pieces? You should have. Or you would know that I'm probably decent at all those things. So you probably shouldn't blame me for money on any of those things. That being said, let's end it here. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you understand the concept I'm going for with these. All of them are going to have the text right by them. If you miss a word or a line, it's right there next to you to guide you, to hold you, to love you. And I hope you appreciate it and kind of get a sense of what I'm doing with them when you go through. And yeah, this is a lot of fun so far. I'm loving it. And like I said, it doesn't feel like work if you love it. If you do what you love, it shouldn't feel like work because you're in your element. You know what I mean? Just like when I'm cooking, it doesn't feel like work to me. If I'm selling wine, it doesn't feel like a work to me. It just feels like something that's enjoyable to do because I'm talking about something I love. When I'm writing, when I'm gaming, it doesn't feel like work. Which is why I could do it all the time and just not have a problem with it. It's when I'm working a job that isn't enjoyable. I hate it. If I'm working a job I like, then I could do it all day and I'll be the best employee you have in the store. So that's the duality of the duality of having ADHD, I think. For the most part, it's one of those things where if you like something and you enjoy doing it, you can do it all day. No problem. No questions asked. Just call me on the phone. I'll be there. I'll be there in 5 minutes if I can. I'll be there in an hour if I can. Depending if I got a shower or not and how far I am from the business, I'll be there in an hour. Yeah, you'll see. But I like it. Showing up isn't bad sometimes for me. It's just that sometimes you get to those places and spaces where you don't like it, and then it becomes a problem. But like for like writing and art stuff, I usually have no problem sitting down for hours at a time and then just working on stuff. That's a good sign. That means I'm doing the right thing. And this is fun, talking for 30 minutes on the introduction track. But here we are, we're doing it. Almost done, hopefully. I hope I'm almost done. Introduction to this shit. It seems like the introduction should be maybe like a short piece, but I think you get the kind of concept that I'm going for with it. Yeah, so we'll end it here. Thank y'all. Eventually, all these will probably be discussed on my podcast. Using to the news. I'm waiting for some artwork for that to happen. So once I get the artwork for that, we'll start putting those out on YouTube. This is on YouTube. Everything's gonna be on YouTube now. I'm not using any of the service but YouTube. YouTube has been my favorite platform for years now, so I'm only posting stuff on YouTube right now. And I might get on Twitch for gaming stuff, but I doubt it. I think I might just use YouTube for stuff. And yeah, that'll be it. Thank y'all. Hopefully, this comes through and you hear it and you understand what I'm saying and you can kind of piece together the rest of it. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to leave your questions and comments on the writing that I do. I do a lot of writing, and I have done a lot of writing, so I do have like a lot of stuff that I can go back and record and talk about. So that's gonna be mostly the focus of the podcast, so not necessarily. And I have a couple of episodes of the podcast already, it's up. I'm ready to upload, but it's still like I'm waiting for that art. So a friend of mine is working on that right now. Once I get that out of the way, we can start posting the podcast episodes and recording more podcast episodes. But this is something that I don't need him for. I don't need a friend for this. This is just me recording my essays. So without further ado, whew, thank you for listening to this and hope you enjoy the essays. It's gonna be a long time before. I think this might just be a long-term project because I just want to think of a topic, write an essay on it, and then record it. So I don't think this is going to be a conclusionable. And I don't think there's going to be a conclusion to these projects. So there maybe at some point, it's not in any foreseeable time frame that I'd be able to say, hey, I'm done writing essays. I'm out of topics to write about. I'm out of things that I want to talk about. So this might be go on for the rest of my life. This might be a monumental occasion that we're talking about right now, the creation of a body of work that may span many years. This may be an epic, if you will. This may be the beginning of an epic. So, I don't know yet. This is me talking about 7 pieces that I wrote. A couple more in planning. And like I said, as I go along with my life and as I go along with, living and having experiences and new things and new topics and new people, I might have more essays to write, I already got a couple in mind that, I could think about right now, and I might, record this, end this recording, start working on a new essay if I find the energy and the time to do so. I got some cleaning as well today. We got an Airbnb situation that me and my mom are working on here. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go do some cleaning at some point. But she's cleaning downstairs right now. I'm gonna join her. After she's done, I'm gonna go clean, do what I have to do downstairs because honestly I can't work with her. She has that TV so fucking loud and I can't rambling again. Right? Don't do that. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes it when you ramble, they said. But nobody's ever said that to me at all. In fact, if you heard me rambling, you probably like it. Because you're still here. Right? You're still listening to this monstrosity of an introduction. People are going to say, why is the introduction 33 minutes? What are you talking 33 minutes for? We're talking about what could be a lifetime project. We're talking about the concept. We're talking about why we're here. Why are we here right now? Why are we still here right now? I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm gonna really enjoy this project. This might be like the lifelong thing for me. So kind of a big deal. But yeah, I hope you like it too. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a chance to sit down and listen and be on this journey with me, at least for a little while. It might be fun. Gotten it better too. I'm not even having anything better to do right now, honestly. Go listen. Go listen to this. Go listen to this monstrosity. It's a monstrosity by the time you go sit down and listen to all 18 essays. There's only 2 right now, but at some point somebody's gonna be hearing this when there's 18, when there's 25, when there's 33, when there's 85, Jesus Christ, but when there's more. Go listen to all of them, back to back. Don't sleep. Sleep is dead. You found this project, this little gem, in the rough of, in the rough of the world, in the rough of YouTube, for sure. You found this little gem. Go listen to all of them, back to back. Cry. Go cry in the corner while you do. It'll make you feel better. Catharsis is like the catharsis. It's very cathartic to cry in the corner sometimes. Do it. Listen to this and cry. I cried certain times, so you can cry too. It's okay. Let the tears flow. It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay, baby. You can cry. You can cry all you want. Nobody's judging you. You're home alone right now, probably. If you're listening to this shit, you should be home alone. Go cry in the corner. It's okay. Cry with me. I cry. You should cry too. It's okay. Let it all go. Let it all out. Whatever it is. Anyway, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. That's enough. That's enough. Yeah, whatever you do, please enjoy it. Listen to it. But whatever you do, don't complain to me about anything. I don't give a. I'm kidding. But please don't complain. This is my art. This is art. You can't complain about art. You can't say that's wrong. Is it? Like, is it? How would you know? Did I use the wrong word somewhere? Do you not like the word I picked? Is it improper grammar? You know what you do with that? You can. I'm not saying that. There's a friend of mine who may never listen to this who would know exactly what I would say in that situation. Because I've said to him many times before. Shout out to that nightmare of a person. Love you. Still a fucking nightmare of a person, though, for sure. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it at some point. He's that person definitely deserves its own essay, for sure. For sure, for sure. For sure, for sure. But anyway, we'll get along just fine if you sit here, you listen to the stuff, you don't complain about it, and then just move on with your other stuff. Go do something else. Go read a book. Go read my other shit. Go listen to my album if you want to. After it. Or before this. Or during pause it. To the album. It's a lot more fun. If I put out another album anytime soon, then I probably will. You know how these things go. The brain just runs and runs and runs. And you just kind of are catching the thoughts as they come. Ooh, that's a great idea. Let's write 500,000 words on it. You know what I mean? But more like 50 words, probably. More like 50 to 500. Oh. Alright, well, I'm done. That's it. I got nothing else to say. I probably do have more to say. But I'll leave that for the second introduction, the second 35-minute introduction to the piece of the essay, if you will. Alright. Thank y'all for listening. Love y'all. Bye.